All right, lesson 6-6, rational exponents. So by the time we're done with this section, we should be able to write expressions with rational exponents in radical form and vice versa, and then to simplify expressions in exponential or radical form. All right, so what this is talking about, so rational exponents, means that we are going to represent radicals with fractional exponents. So anytime we see a term to a fractional exponent, we're really talking about a radical of some sort. So the way we go back and forth between the forms is to take the root, and that's going to go into the denominator of our fraction, and this is a power. And then whatever power is on the inside is going to be in the numerator. And keep in mind that if the power is on the outside, so if we had the nth root of a, and then in parentheses to the m power, this is still going to be a to the m over n. So it's always the power over the root. So if we just do some practice with rewriting, so this one, so here's our base, so we're going to have x to the 2/3 power. Okay, same thing, so really there's this invisible 2 here, and then 5 is to the first power, even though we don't write those. So if we rewrote this, this would be 5 to the 1/2 power. And then if we practice going the other direction, so the bottom of our fraction is a 4, so this is the 4th root of, and since we have parentheses, both of those terms go into the radical, and because they're to the first power, we don't need to worry about writing that. So we'd have the 4th root of 2x. All right, so let's just do some more practice. So again, if we're rewriting, the root is the denominator of the fraction, the power is in the numerator. So for this one, again, we have that 2 there. So this is going to be x to the 3/2 power if we were just rewriting it. Same thing, so this one we would have y to the 2/4, and we can reduce that. So our final answer for this one would be y to the 1/2 power. Same thing with the next one, so this is going to be x to the 4/5 power. And if we practice going the other direction, so again, the root is the bottom number, so this one we will have the 8th root of x to the 5th. And then this one will be the 4th root of x to the 1st. Now this one we have to be a little bit careful of because we have a fractional exponent, but this fractional exponent only goes to the x. It does not go to the 2 because we don't have parentheses. So we're going to have 2 on the outside of our radical, and then it's going to be the cubed root of x squared. And then here we have a number. Okay, so again, the negative, there's no parentheses, so that's going to go on the outside of our radical. And then we would have the square root of 16 to the 3rd power. Now for this one, I'm going to choose to write it so that my power is on the outside of the radical. And the reason for that is because I can actually take the square root of 16. The square root of 16 is 4. And then we can cube that. So 4 cubed is going to be 64. And then because we have a negative, it's going to stay negative. So our final simplified answer for this one is negative 64. All right, so next part of this, in the next set of videos, we're just going to do a bunch of simplifying examples. And there's a ton of different ones because each situation is slightly different. So when we're simplifying, if we can't simplify in one form, then we just switch to the other form and see if we can simplify that way. And then you also need to remember all of your exponent rules because those still apply to these types of problems. So in the next set of videos, we're just going to do a bunch of simplifying examples for rational exponents and radical